Hello guys. Hello everyone. Good evening everyone. Good evening. Yes, let's start. So I hope all of you are fine and I hope that we are enjoying the whole JS essential so far because till now we have completed a lot of things, a lot of programming fundamentals. Now today our main focus will be switch case first. Then I'll be showing you about ternary operators. These are the things that are left from yesterday. And then we'll move ahead to loops and after that objects and then finally arrays. Okay, and if we get time, we'll also look out for functions. These are the basic ones. Okay, and tomorrow only when we start, we'll directly start preparing the data for the Netflix project. So guys, tomorrow only we are going to be starting with our Netflix project where I'll be teaching you how to display movies based on a real data and then how to create a sorting and filtering system that exactly that how it works on Netflix. Okay, so when a user searches for a movie, we'll search it. When a user, wants to sort movies based on rating and all that stuff, we will also do that. Okay, so guys, from tomorrow only, we'll be starting with our Netflix project. So be ready for that. Okay, everyone. But today, again, we have to complete all the process. We have to understand loops, arrays, objects, so that tomorrow we can go ahead and start using those things. Because in tomorrow's session, when we start creating the project, we will be needing this concept of loops and arrays. That's why we need to learn all of them today. Start with today's session. So last time, as you remember, we completed we started with something called as conditional statements and we learned about multiple if yesterday. Okay. And then I told you that ternary I'll be teaching you today. And I also showed you how to convert a number to a string using the toString function and how to convert a string to a number using the number constructor. Two easy ways. Now there are some more ways in JS, but for that guys, you can simply go for the documentation. Okay. So please go ahead there. You can click on that link and you can go to the documentation where all the topics that I'm teaching here is all mentioned there in brief. So you can also learn from there. We have also mentioned interview preparation questions there. The whole documentation of whatever we are learning with examples is also mentioned there. And if you're new, please don't forget to enroll for the course. How to enroll and everything is also mentioned in that documentation. Let's start everyone. So now guys, today what I'm planning is I'll keep this script file as it is because we have done a lot of code here. So for today's session, let's go ahead and let's create some new files. Okay, so that we'll again get a practice of how to create a new file and link it. So let's close this and now let's create a new file and I'll call it as day3.html. Okay, so day3.html and I'll also create one more file and I'll call it as day3.js, something like that. Okay, and now let's move ahead. Let's simply prepare our HTML, simple HTML. And finally, guys, don't forget that we need to link two pages, right? Guys, I'm again just doing this so that, you get the habit of doing it, that we have to create a page and then link and all that stuff. So script src / we want to connect it to day3.js and that's it. And now we need to run this page. So we can just simply go ahead and click on go live and this page will be running in the browser. You can see here now it is up and running in the browser. It should be back here somewhere. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, here we go. This one and we can close this now. We don't need this one anymore. And here we go. So up and running. Right now there's nothing on the output. So we need to open the console because that is where we are checking out our whole output. So here we go, console. And now let's start everyone. Okay. So let's go on day3.js guys. And the first thing that we are learning today is one more conditional statement that we didn't learn yesterday. That was something called as switch case, right everyone? This is the thing that we didn't cover yesterday. So now let's cover it today. So now guys, see, yesterday we learned that conditional statements are something which we use whenever we want to execute some code based on some condition or some outcome. So yesterday we saw how to do all that stuff, right? We used if, we used if else, we used if else if ladder, right? We used multiple if, so all that stuff. So these were the three types of conditional statements that we learned yesterday and we can use them depending on our requirements. Now today we'll learn one more and the last one of conditional statements, that is going to be switch case. Okay, it's again, guys, switch case is a lot similar to a multiple if statement. That means in switch case also you use it whenever you have multiple conditions and only one of them is going to be true. Okay, but the way of writing is different and where you will be using it is also different. So let's go and let's see first, okay, how it works and then I'll tell you where to use it. So let's go. Let's create a variable. For example, let's say we call it as status, something like that. Okay. And let's say we store it as 1. So status variable equals 1. Now I can go ahead and write a switch. Okay. Now inside this switch, you have to pass the variable for which you want to check the condition for. So I want to go for status. Okay. So guys, one more thing. Actually, before we do switch, I want to show you a few things. Okay. Now guys, think of it like this. Let's say we have a requirement where you want to do this. That is, if status is 1, let's say we print as super user. If status is 2, we'll print as normal user, or let's say medium user. And if status is 3, we'll print as, let's say, lower level user, something like that. In future, it can be a big task. Right now, let's say we are just printing. So what is our normal logic? We can go with this, right? If status is equal to 1, right? We can go with this logic. Okay, and then we can go ahead, and why it is coming marked, because I think status is kind of an internal variable. So let's call it as status val. Okay, even though it will work, but don't do that, because I think it's some kind of JS internal val, so no need to use that. Okay, status val. So now for now, let's go console.log and let's say super user. Okay, simple. Okay, simple. And now I have one more condition, that if status val is 2. So for that, else if. Now this is how we normally write it, right everyone? This is how we'll normally write. If I have multiple conditions, this is what I can do. I can simply go ahead and I can just go here now, and let's say we call it as medium user, something like that. Else we can go for a simple, let's say, lower level user, something like that. Now this is one requirement that I had, so I can completely achieve it using if else. Okay, but we can also achieve this. Okay, now if I run it, you will see the output that if I run this, you will see we are at super user. Why? Because my status value was 1. If I make it 2, you will see the output is medium user. Now we know that it will work like this. We have learned it yesterday. But guys, this same thing can be done via something called a switch case. And switch case can be used as a replacement of multiple if. Okay, but why? We'll also talk about that in a minute. But first of all, let's see how does switch case work. So guys, if you want to replicate the same code in switch case, you have to write a switch and then the variable that you want to check. So that is status val. And now in switch, guys, just like in your if, you make conditions like this. If this condition, else if this condition, else this. So in that case, guys, here you create cases. That's why it is called as a switch case. So here you'll write case 1. Case 1 means if the value of status val is 1. So case 1 and then colon, and then you can go for brackets, and here you can write whatever you want to do. So console.log, and here I can simply write, let's say, super user. Okay, same. I can go ahead and I can write now case number 2. And then here I can write console, whatever I want to do. So console.log, let's say medium user. Okay, let's say I have one more, that is case 3. So I can have a case 3 here. That is if status val's value equals 3. Now remember guys, it's not important that this should be always 1, 2 and 3. It can be anything. It can be 20, 40, 60, 81, 82, whatever values you want to compare. A lot of times people think that it's always going to be 1, 2, 3, but it's not like that, guys. It's up to us. It can be any values. That's why, for now, I'll just, let's say use it. So medium user, and then finally, let's call it as normal user. And then we can have final. So now guys, if all the cases are incorrect, we can have a default, which is like an else. That means if this case doesn't satisfy, this case also doesn't satisfy, this case also doesn't satisfy, then you can go for simple default case, which is like an else of multiple if. Now in this case, guys, if I just go ahead and let's say, I print like lower level user. Now if you run it, you'll see the output. See guys, oh, our status value is 2. That means this case is correct. So it is getting executed. We get medium user. But after medium user, I'm also getting normal user, lower level user. So why is this happening? Guys, in switch case, this thing happens by default. That is, whatever case was correct, after that, all the cases will still be executed. This is what happens by default in switch case. This concept is called as fallout in switch statement. This concept is called as fallout. And guys, it's an interview question. A lot of times people ask, that what is fallout in switch statement in interviews. And a lot of people don't even know because we have already fixed that we always have to use break. It's fine. We have to use break, but we should know what happens without break. Okay. And why it happens and what it is called. Okay. And guys, as I mentioned in JavaScript, semicolon is not mandatory. So even if I miss it by some time, it's fine. It's okay. It's not mandatory here. But yeah, that's my mistake that I missed it, but it's fine. It's okay in JavaScript. It's completely fine. That semicolon will do nothing. Even if I do it, say it's still safe. In JavaScript, guys, semicolon is not mandatory. Okay. So now, guys, what if I don't want this fallout happening? So for that, guys, you have a keyword called as break, which you have to put in every case. Now, what this break keyword does is break, as the name suggests, break means break the switch case. So this break keyword will stop the switch case as soon as the case executes. So now I'll put it in all these three. So now what will happen, guys? If status val is 1, so case 1 will execute. It will come inside this block, execute this code, and then it will go to break. And break will break the switch. Switch will be completely stopped and it will simply move ahead to other code. So that's what break does, guys. Break stops the switch case and exits the switch case and moves forward to something else. Is that clear, guys? Okay, now that I have put break, now that fallout won't happen, and you can see now whatever case is correct, only that will be printed. Because now status val is 2, and because of that, case 2 is correct, and that's why this medium user is getting printed, and then break is happening, which is breaking the switch case, exiting the switch case and moving forward. That's all. If you don't have break, so from whatever case was correct, from there, everything else will also be executed, every other case. And that's what we call as fallout in switch statement. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? So remember that, because a lot of time people ask it in interview and people don't know. They have never, heard of fallout. That's why I just wanted to tell you that. That's all. Okay. Now, guys, you might ask, okay, if I can do the exact same thing in multiple if, why do I need to use switch case? Now, that can be a better question. That's a very important question, right? If I can do the exact same thing in multiple if, why do I need to use switch case? So guys, the reason is if statement is mostly used for ranges. Like, if status is greater than 10 and also status is less than 100. So you're specifying a range of value. And if you want to specify multiple conditions in one line, then also you can go for if. But if you are sure that your condition is either it will be 1 or 2 or A or B or C, just a change, single value comparison. Either it will be 1 or 2. So you should always go for switch case. Why? Because switch is much more faster as compared to if and else. That is the reason. For smaller conditions, for just equality checks, like if it is 1 or 2 or 3, you should avoid multiple ifs or ifs and go for switch cases, because in speed wise, switch is much more faster. So if you have 10, 20 conditions where you're just checking if it is 2, if it is 8, if it is 7, if it is 9, avoid if else. I'm not saying that if else will not work. You can completely use if else, but switch case will be a lot faster in execution. So your program speed will improve and your application will be much more optimized. That's why whenever you have conditions where you want to do single checks, go for switch case. And whenever you have range of values greater than this, less than this, multiple conditions and or, then you can go for your multiple if statement. Is that clear, guys? I hope it's cleared. Now, let's quickly move. Now, guys, again, depending on your requirements, you can go for switch or multiple if. It's completely on to you. But I would suggest if you have single checks, go for switch case. If you just want to check 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. And if you have range of values, you just have to go for, multiple ifs or ifs, whatever you want. Okay. Now then, guys, let's go, everyone. Let's start. Let's start with the next thing. As I told you, I'm also going to be teaching you the ternary operator. So, guys, let's go and let's talk about the ternary operator. And guys, it's very easy. A lot of times it becomes a little confusing, but it's very easy. Now, to teach you that, let me go around with something. Now, guys, think of it like this. Everyone, please focus, because I want to also tell you where exactly you have to use ternary operator, because you don't have to use it everywhere. So I want to show you where exactly you have to use. Let's say you have a variable called as, let's say, something like, status, status, or let's say something like vote status, something like that, equals initially, let's say it is null. There's no value. So initially I have a vote status, which is null. Now let's say I have one more variable, age. Now in future, guys, this data can come from user. So don't worry, I'll teach you where exactly to get this data from, how to take input from user. But for now, we don't have any option. So I'll simply mention it like this. Let's say 16. Now you know what I want? I want that if age is greater than 18, greater than or equal to 18, I want vote status to be true. And if it is less than, 18, then I want the vote status to be false. So what can I do, guys? What is the basic idea that we have, everyone? No, just Karan Jyot Singh. Normally, you should not use continue in your switch statement because that switch case is not going to continue. So you should normally avoid it. You should normally avoid using continue in switch case. Continue is not made for that. Okay. So guys, the basic technique that we can think of is this, right? If age is greater than equal to 18, okay, then I can go and make my vote status variable equals true. So I can assign true to that. Else, I can assign vote status a value of false, right? Something like this I can do. Okay. Or let's say if I want to assign 1 and 2. So vote status 1 and vote status 2, something like that. Let's say guys, it can be anything, true, false, 1, 2, 0, 1, whatever you want. So let's say I want to do something like this. Okay. So if initially vote status variable is null, age is 16. So if age is greater than equal to 18, vote status should become 1. If it is less than 18, vote status should become 2. That's my base idea. And now if I print, if I go ahead and check my vote status, in this case, guys, what should be the answer, everyone? What should be the answer here, guys? What should be the value of vote status according to this condition? Let me see how many of you answer. Guys, come on, quickly tell me, everyone. In this case, it should be 2. Correct, everyone? Because my age is 16, so the condition is wrong and else will execute. Simple idea. Now, if you see, here it was a very simple task. I simply wanted to assign a value to a variable based on some condition. And for a simple task like this, I wrote around 6-7 lines of code. Now this can be avoided using a ternary operator. Now guys, how to write that? Let me replace this whole code using a ternary operator. So let me comment out this code. Now see guys what I can do here. You know, I can again have an age variable which is initially some value like let's say 16. Okay. Now let me replace this whole 6 lines of code in just one line. You know what you can do? I can create a variable. So let vote status. Now see guys, everyone, how to use ternary operator. Equals to. Now in the syntax of ternary operator is something like this. First is going to be your condition. Then question mark. Value that you want to return when it's true. So let's say correct value. And then colon false value. So now guys, this is the syntax of a ternary operator. Your condition, then question mark, then whatever data you want to return if the condition is true, colon, whatever data you want to return if the condition is false. So it's exactly similar to if and else, but in a single line. It's exactly similar to an if and else. So it's like this. If this condition is true, execute this. If this condition is false, execute this. That's all. So basically it's like this only, but in a single line. So now if I go here, I can do this. See, I can write my condition, which is age greater than equal to 18. Then question mark, what do I want to give back? So I want to give back 1 if the condition is true. Colon, what do I want to give back if the condition is false? I want to give back 2, and that's all. So now guys, if this condition is correct, this whole operator's answer will be 1. So this 1 will be given back and it will be assigned to vote status. And if this condition is false, this whole operation's answer will be 2 and that will be assigned to vote status. So guys, what we did here is we replaced this whole big code into a single line of code. And you can see this is 1 operand, this is 2 operand, and this is 3rd operand. That's why this colon question mark is considered as a ternary operator. Is that clear, everyone? Because it's using, and guys, this question mark colon will always work together. You cannot avoid it. Okay, that's why they are called as ternary operator, because they are using 3 operands. But guys, at the end, ternary operator is nothing but a simple, subtle replacement of if and else. Okay, everyone, I hope you're understanding it. But use it only when you want to return some data. Normally, don't use it for printing. Don't go like, let's say, for example, in your if, you wanted, like you don't only want to assign variable, you want to write some lines of code, then in that case, guys, don't go for ternary operator, because if you start writing code here, it will look very bad. Only use it if you are using it, if you want to assign some data or return some data. That is the only place where you should go for ternary operators. When you have big code, don't write any big code here. Then in that case, guys, go for an if and else, because it will be much more clearer to write and understand. Is that clear to everyone? I hope you're understanding. So use ternary operator whenever you want to return or give back some data based on condition. Don't write your big code here. Don't think of it like, oh, it's a proper if and else, so I can write any code here. Don't do that. Is that clear to everyone? Okay, cool. So now then, guys, let's move ahead, everyone. And let's start with the second topic for today. And guys, that is going to be very important. Okay, so guys, I hope everyone is cleared with ternary operators and switch case. And guys, if you're understanding everything, if you're enjoying it, please don't forget to like the video. Okay, please don't forget that. Let's move ahead, everyone. Let's move ahead to the next topic for today, which is one of my favorite topics. Actually, from now on, everything is my favorite. Okay. So now, guys, let's move ahead and let's talk about something called as loops. And before that, guys, you tell me, like, how many of you find loops that are like loops are tough? How many of you find that loops are a little tricky to understand and tough, something like that? Okay, so let's go and let's talk about loops, and let me show you how easy they are in reality. Okay, so now, guys, first thing, what exactly is a loop in programming? See, in reality, we know, right? Loop is nothing but something that goes on and on. In reality, that is the meaning. Correct, everyone? Right? Now, what exactly is a loop in programming? So it's kind of same. Remember, guys, a loop in programming is nothing but a keyword or a set of code which has the power to execute itself again and again. That's a simple definition, guys. You know, a loop in programming is nothing but a set of code which executes itself again and again. That's all, guys. That's the definition. That means it has this power. It will execute itself again and again. Definitely. Like, we don't have to do anything about it. It will definitely execute itself again and again, mostly based on a condition. Now we know, right, what is the condition, guys? Condition is nothing but when you compare some data. So a loop in programming is nothing but a set of code which has the ability to execute itself again and again based on some condition. For example, guys, now if I just have to give an example, see, guys, what happens in if you have a if, and here you write some condition, and then in here you write some code. Okay, now what happens in if, guys? Normal process. Your program starts executing, it comes here. If this condition is false, it will skip this block and move forward and execute other things, whatever is outside, right, everyone? That's the first point. But if this condition was true, it will come inside, execute this code, and then move outside. That's the basic how if works. Now loop is a lot similar. The writing of loop or the logic of loop is a lot similar. So let's say if instead of this if, it was a loop. There is only a slight change, and the slight change is, see this. Now same, again, logic. It will come here. It will check the condition. If the condition is false, it will skip this block and move ahead, just like if. But if the condition is correct, it will come inside, execute the code. And now, due to its natural behavior, you are not doing anything. It is its natural behavior that after ending the code, after executing the whole code, which is mentioned in the block, it will always go back up again. Guys, we are not going to do anything for this. It will go back. And again, it will check. Is this condition true? Now again, it's false. So it will move forward. It will move ahead. It will go out. But again, if it is true, it will come inside, execute the code. And after executing, guys, it will definitely go back up. It will never end after executing. It will again go back up. Again, check the condition. Again, if it is true, it will come inside, execute the code, and it will again go back up. That means after executing the code, it is its by default behavior to go back up. Only if the condition becomes false at some point of time, it will exit. Otherwise, it will always go back up. Once something comes inside the loop, it will always go back up. And again, check the condition. Again, if it is true, come inside. Again, go back up. And guys, I don't have to do anything for it to, to to make sure that it goes back up. It's its default behavior. It will do that. If I want to stop a loop, I have to make sure that when it comes back up, somehow I make my condition false. Only if the condition is false, it will exit. Otherwise, it will never exit. Is that clear, guys? So it's a lot similar to if. It is a lot similar to if. But what happens in if, guys? If the condition is true, come inside, execute the code and exit. But if the condition is false, directly exit. But in the loop case, if it is false, exit. But if it is true, come inside, execute the code, but don't exit. Go back up. Again, check. If it is correct, come inside, execute the code, again go back up. So guys, that's the natural behavior of how a loop works. Is that clear, everyone? That means it has the ability to execute itself again and again. Now, we have to take advantage of this feature. So sometimes we have some kind of code that we want to execute n number of times. 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 1000 times, infinite times. So what I can do is if I have something like that, I can put that code inside a loop. So let's say I have some code which is, let's say 10,000 times. I want to execute 10,000 times, again and again, again and again. So normally I have to write that code 10,000 times. But to avoid that, I can put the code inside the loop. And because of its looping feature, it will come inside, execute the code, go back up, come inside, execute the code. It will execute my code again and again and again. And I'll try to make sure that at some point, I make my condition false so that it ends. Is that clear, guys? That's the theoretical explanation. That's the theoretical idea. Okay. Now let me show you how it works. Now guys, in JavaScript, if you want to create a loop, there are 3 keywords that you can use to create a loop. Okay. The first keyword is what you call as while. The second keyword is what you call as do while. And the third keyword is what you call as for, one of my favorites. Okay. These are the 3 keywords which you can use to create loops. And trust me guys, they all do the exact same thing. They are used for looping. Some minor differences are there. That's why 3 kind of keywords are there and we can change it. Okay. We can see what exactly is the difference. Okay. Now let me show you the example that I talked about here. Okay. So let's try. So guys, let me show you how does a simple loop work using this while logic. Okay. Let me show you that. So first of all guys, while. The syntax is while, and then here I need to put condition. Now I know condition is nothing but comparison of variable. So for that guys, we have to go here. So now here I need a condition, just like in if, but we know, right, to write condition is nothing but comparison of data. So for that I need some variable. So let's say I create a variable like a, and I give it a value of 1. Now my condition is while a is less than 10. Then execute this code. Let's say my code is console.log. Let's say, let's upgrade, something like that. Now guys, see, we know if here it was if, what will happen? This condition is correct. Come inside, execute this code and simply move outside. Correct, everyone? But instead of if, we are using a loop keyword, which is while. So in this case, what will happen? Check, come here, check if the condition is correct. Yes, it's correct. Come inside, execute the code and again go back up. So guys, default feature, again go back up. Again check the condition. And we know that condition is never going to change because I'm not changing it anywhere. Guys, see, a is 1, cool. 1 is less than 10, yes. Come inside, execute code, go back up, check again. Now guys, what's the value of a? A is still 1, no changes. So again 1 is less than 10. Come inside, execute the code, go back up. A is still 1. And guys, a is going to be 1 forever. That's why guys, this loop, if I run it, it is an infinite loop. This loop will never stop. I'm not doing that because my browser will hang and then I have to close it, open it again. But I hope you're understanding the logic here. Okay, that means if I want to exit the loop, I have to make sure that at some point of time, this condition becomes false. And it's up to me now. I can make it false whenever I want, Like for example, I can simply go here and make a equals 30 and that's it. So now guys, initially a was 1. Good. A was 1. 1 is less than 30. Good. Come inside, execute the code. Sorry, 1 is less than 10. Correct. Come inside, execute the code. Oh, it will print let's upgrade. Now change the value of a, which was 1, to 30. So a becomes 30. Now go back up, check again. 30 less than 10? No, condition false. Exit the loop. That means this loop will only work 1 time. Is that clear, guys? But I want this loop to work according to me, like 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. So how to do that? So guys, for that, what we can say is every time my a should increment only by 1. Now guys, yesterday we saw, right? unary operator, which helps you to increment your variable by 1. So just use that. Let's say plus plus. Now what will happen here? A is 1, correct. 1 is less than 10, correct. Come inside, execute this code. Okay, it will print let's upgrade. Then A plus plus. So A was 1. Now it becomes 2. Now go back up. Is 2 less than 10? Yes. Come inside. Print it again. A plus plus. Now A was 2. Now it's becoming 3. So next time 4. Next time 5. Now it will keep running until it reaches 9. Now once it reaches 9. Okay, 9 less than 10? Yes. Come inside, print it, and then 9 plus plus, which is 10. And now once it goes back up, is 10 less than 10? No. And that's why false, exit the loop. And that's why, guys, now in this case, it will be printing. If you see, it's up and running. I think I didn't save it. Let me save it quickly. Okay, it's stuck in the infinite loop, so I have to close this browser. No other option. See, you can see, because of that, it is still stuck. It was live server, right? So whatever I ran, at that time it started running, and you can see my server is stuck. It's an infinite loop. So let's close this one. After changing the code, let's print again. And now it should be fine. Here we go. See that, everyone? So now you can see it's printing let's upgrade 9 times. Guys, it was stuck in the infinite loop. You know why? Because I wrote the code and I saved it previously. And it was live server, so automatically it got changed on the browser. And that's why it was in an infinite loop. But now I changed it. I closed that browser tab and I opened it again. And you can see let's upgrade is printing 9 times. And guys, if you want, you can also print your A with it. It's just a variable, right? So why not? You can also print your variable with it, like A. Nothing big. It's fine. You can print the A. So now you can see every time what is the new value of A. See? Initially the value of A was 1, then it became 2, then it became 3, then it became 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9. So now, guys, you can decide how many times you want this loop to run based on how you initialize the data. That means where you initialized it. And here you can decide till how much you want to go. And here you can increment or decrement, do whatever you want. Is that clear, guys, everyone? I hope you're understanding that concept. And it is again stuck. Because of the live server, this problem will keep happening. Because as soon as I, write something here, it starts executing there. So in this case, guys, you will see the output is still going to be same. No difference. Okay, so don't forget about that, guys. As I told you, only in the operation pre-increment or post-increment matters. In a single statement like this, where you're simply using it for incrementing, then nothing will happen. Okay. So guys, I hope it's cleared. Everyone, I really hope you have understood the base idea of loop. And now, guys, it's up to you. Whatever code you want here, you can put it. Some data fetching code, some calculation code, whatever you want, put it. Now see, is that cleared, everyone? Now I again have to close the browser because it's infinite. So I hope you're understanding, guys. See, we want that true based on a condition. If I directly put true, then it's always true. Then we can't change it until and unless it depends on a variable. Now, guys, let's move ahead, everyone, and let's talk about the next loop, which is do while loop. Now, guys, see, all these three are loops only, but there are some small differences. Okay. So now let's move ahead. Let's see what exactly is the main difference. Okay. So guys, now see, in while, what we are doing is while says check the condition first. If the condition is correct, execute the code, increment, and then after incrementing again come back up and check the condition. That's how normal while loop works. What do while says is, according to syntax, do. And then you can write your code here. So let me write some code like console.log. And also let me initialize a variable initially. So let a equals 1. Okay, and if I just go ahead and print let's upgrade, and also let's say I print a here. And simply I go ahead and do some like a plus plus. Okay, normal. Now what do while says is, first write do and then your block of code, and then at the end you should write condition like this, while a is less than, let's say, 10, same condition. Okay, so see, now what happens in while says check the condition. If the condition is correct, go inside the block and execute the code. In do while, you are not checking your condition first. You're simply saying do. That means execute the code. Execute the code. Don't even check the condition. Execute the code. That means first time, execute the code. Now code will be executed. And then after executing the code, then it will check the condition. If it is correct, it will again go back to do and again execute the code, then check the condition and then again go back to do. So it's like a loop only, but in this case, guys, what's happening is first you're executing and then you're checking. In while loop, first you were checking and then executing the code. Here, you're first executing the code and then checking it. Now, normally, if you test it, the output is same. Okay, let me just, run it quickly. If you check it normally, the output will be exactly same. There will be no difference. So if you check it, guys, see, it's same. Let's upgrade 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Right? If you check it, see, A is 1, good. Do console.log, that means execute the code. Console.log, let's upgrade A. So let's upgrade 1. Then A++, A becomes 2. Then check, while 2 is less than 10, yes. Go back up to do and again go inside and execute. So let's upgrade 2. Then A++, A becomes 3. Check, 3 is less than 10, yes. Go back. But now there is one slight difference here. That is, let's say I make my A as 14, right? And now if you see, for the first time only, my condition is going to be wrong because A is 14. And if you just check it, 14 is not less than 10. That means for the first time only, the condition is wrong here. But still, even if your condition is wrong for the very first time, you'll see your code at least executes once. Why? Because for the first time, you don't even check the condition. You simply say do. So I can see here that my condition is wrong for the first time only. A is 14 and first condition will be wrong. But because you're executing the code first and not checking the condition first, that's why at least one time the code will execute. Is that clear, guys? Everyone, I hope that you're understanding this. I really hope that you're understanding this. Okay. Now then, let's move ahead to the last loop that we have here, which is going to be for loop. Okay. Now see, guys, for and while are exactly same, like almost same. The main difference is, see, guys, if you come to your while loop again, and if you see it properly, you can see that you have a condition, right, guys? And condition is very important. Everyone, condition is a very important thing. Why? Because of condition only this loop knows where to end. So that means condition is a very important thing in a loop. Because of condition only the loop knows how much to run. And to write conditions, you create a variable, you initialize a variable. That means condition and initializing a variable is also important, because if you don't initialize the variable, you can't write the condition. So initialization of variable. Then third, you have this statement, increment decrement, which makes your variable go to that condition so that it can become wrong or right. That means there are three main components in a loop: initializing a variable, then writing a condition, and then incrementing or decrementing it so that it can reach to that particular condition, right? And make it end, make your loop end or make it go false. And then other than that, you have your code, right? Now, there's a problem here. The problem is, what if in future you have 200-300 lines of code in your while loop? More lines of code, like let's say 10, 20, 30 or 300, 400. In that case, guys, it will be very tough to manage where is your condition, where is your increment decrement statement, where is your initialization. You have to, go up and down continuously. But those are the three main things that you may want to change a lot in future. So guys, that is the problem that for loop solves. For is exactly like while, but the best part is it says what you can do, you can initialize the variable directly here. So A equals 1. Then you can also write your condition directly here. And then semicolon, you can also write your increment decrement statement here. That means all the three main things that a loop requires, you can all mention that in one line. And then you can write your code whatever you want. It will work exactly similar to while loop, but the best part is every important aspect of that loop is at one place. So I can see all that at once and I can change them without any issues. So the syntax is much more better. The way of writing becomes much more better in this case. So that's what for loop is, guys. It is much more better to look at and write at. That's why it is the most used loop. If you compare while, do while and for is the most used loop in any programming language. Go with any programming language. By default, if they want to loop something, they will go for loop only. There are very rare conditions when we go for while and do while. I'm not going to say rare, but less times we go for while and do while. Normally, we always go for for. For a basic loop, we always choose for. Okay. But guys, the logic, it is exactly similar to while loop only. Okay. So if I just go ahead and, print, let's say let's upgrade, and let's say I print A, something like that. Now guys, the logic is same. First initialize, so A will become 1. Now check, is 1 less than 10? Yes. Come inside, execute the code, and then go to increment statement. A plus plus, A becomes 2. Now again check the condition, 2 less than 10. Come inside, execute the code, and again go to A plus plus, A becomes 3. 3 less than 10, 4 less than 10, and just like that it will go away. It will go ahead, sorry, not go away. So guys, that's how simple it is. It exactly executes like while loop, but only the syntax is different. And guys, remember, here it's a semicolon. Don't put a comma. I have seen a lot of people make this mistake. They put a comma and then they are unable to figure out what's the mistake. Guys, it's semicolon, not a comma. Okay, remember that. Semicolon. So for your initialization, which will only happen once, then condition, then semicolon, your increment decrement statement. And these two will act exactly like how they work in while loop. And guys, if you now test it, the output, you can see the output is exactly same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And just to confirm that it's reality, I can also, guys, I can go ahead and make it A equals to 10, less than equal to 10. So now it will go till 10, not till only 9. Previously it was A less than 10. So it was going till 9 because 9 is less than 10. Now I said go till equal to 10. So now it will go till 10. See? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that clear, guys? Now I know that this A is initially 1, then it's becoming 2, then it's becoming 3, then it's becoming 4. So what I can do, I can simply go ahead and put multiplied by 2. So initially A is 1. So 1 into 2. That will be 2. Then A will plus plus, A will become 2. So 2 into 2. Then 3 into 2. Because A is changing. That 2 that I have hard coded is going to be common. It's going to be constant there. 2. It's hard coded. But A is keep on changing. So 1 into 2, 2 into 2, 3 into 2, 4 into 2, just like that it will go ahead. So guys, this A is a variable which is keep on changing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just multiplied it by 2 every time. So guys, because of that, you will see there's a 2 table here. 2 because 1 into 2, then 2 into 2, 3 into 2, 4 into 2, 5 into 2. So that's how it goes, guys. Okay, everyone, I hope you're understanding this whole concept. Is that clear, everyone? I hope you're understanding, everyone, guys. And yes, guys, you can also break the loop. For example, if I go here, I can write if A is 4. Now see, guys, let's say I write this condition inside the loop. Okay. Now please focus, everyone. I'm writing if A is 4, break. Now see what will happen, guys. See, please focus, guys. A is 1 initially. Cool. Is 1 less than 10? Yes. Come inside. Check. If A is 4. If A is equal to 4. No. Right now A is 1. So skip the if because the condition is wrong. Print. Okay. So 1 into 2. Guys, for now, let me remove this 2 so that you can understand. So it will print 1. Let's upgrade 1. Then A plus plus. A becomes 2. Is 2 less than 10? Yes. Come inside. Check. If A is equals 4. No. 2 is not equals 4. If is skipped because condition is incorrect. Okay. Let's upgrade 2. Then A plus plus. Let's upgrade 3. Then now A plus plus. A becomes 4. And now check. 4 less than 10? Yes. Come inside. Check. If A, which is 4, equals to 4? Yes. Then execute break. Now guys, what does the break keyword do? Break keyword has the power to end the loop. It will stop the loop then and there. It will simply stop the loop there and it will end the loop and will move forward, will move out. For example, if I just, put something like console.log outside code, you'll see now, everyone. See that? It's only running 3 times now. Why, guys? Because once A reaches 4, at 4, we are executing break. Break is breaking the loop. Just like break was breaking the switch case, here break is breaking the loop. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, I really hope you're understanding what break is doing here. Okay. So now break is breaking the loop. Guys, are we clear with this? So you can use a break to break the loop. So let's say you have mentioned some condition which will end the loop at some point of time. We don't know. It will end the loop at some point of time. But break can be used to instantly break the loop whenever you want. Okay. Guys, okay. Now guys, just like break, you also have one more keyword which you can use inside loop, which you call as continue. Now, there is a difference between break and continue. Remember guys, break means break the loop. Continue means when you execute continue. See guys, let me explain you what will happen. See, now again, initially A is 1. Cool. 1 less than 10? Yes. Come inside. Now I know this condition is false. So this will not happen. Leave it. It will print let's upgrade 1. Nice. Then A plus plus. A will become 2. Again, condition is wrong. Let's upgrade 2 will be printed. A plus plus. A will become 3. 3 less than 10? Yes. Is the condition correct? No. Skip the block. Print let's upgrade 3. Now again A plus plus. Now A becomes 4. 4 less than 10? Yes. Now check. If A is equal to 4? Yes. So now guys, it will go and it will execute continue. Continue means skip the current execution of loop and directly move forward. That means now whatever is written after continue, that code will be skipped. It's like break the current execution and it will directly move forward to the next one. Go back up. So it's not going to stop the loop, but for that particular time, all the code written after continue will not execute. It will skip the current execution. You will see guys. See, it's executing the 1, 1, then 2, then 3, but we don't have let's upgrade 4 because when A was 4, we said continue. So all the code after that was not executed. Directly when it sees continue, it goes back up from there. So continue means end the current execution and from here only go back up. Don't even execute what is afterwards. Normally what happens? You execute everything and then you go back up. Continue says from here only go back up. Skip everything else which is inside current execution. That's why you can see for 4 you don't have any output guys. That's the difference between break. Break means break the loop completely. Continue means just don't execute everything else for the current execution. Forward, you can again do it. Move forward, just go back up from there. Wherever you see continue, go back up from there. Don't execute anything after that. So guys, I really hope it's cleared the idea of break and continue, and depending on your needs, you can use it. Okay. Okay. So guys, I hope it's cleared. Now then, let's move on to the next topic, which is again going to be very, very important. Now guys, the next two topics are going to be one of the most important topics that we are learning in JavaScript. You know why? Because all the things that we'll do tomorrow when we start creating the project, these are the two main topics that we'll be using a lot. Okay. That is why now you have to focus. For the next 20 minutes, guys, I want your complete focus. Next 20 to 30 minutes, I want your complete focus. Okay. Cool. So let's go everyone. Let's start. So now guys, the next topic that we have here is, and guys see, if you put break without a condition, that means you're simply breaking. That means what? Okay, execute the code. So you can see this code is now, see, it is blurred out. It is little bit dim. Why? Because see, they are saying it is an unreachable code. That means according to your logic, the execution will never happen because you have written break before it. Now then, let's move ahead. Okay. Now guys, let's move on to the next topic, which is one of my favorite topics. Literally one of my favorite, which is what you call as array. Okay. So let's go guys. Let's talk about array, and it's a very simple topic. It's very easy. See guys, what exactly is an array in programming? So guys, array is nothing but collection of elements of same type stored in a single variable. Listen to me carefully guys. It is a collection of elements or data of same type. That means all numbers, all strings, all booleans stored in a single variable, something like this. Now guys, what exactly is the meaning of collection of elements? See guys, normally what happens? Normally what we do is we create a variable, let's say age, okay, or let's say we create a variable called as city, and we can store something like, let's say Mumbai in that. Okay, so we have a variable which is storing one city. Now what if I want to work with, let's say I want to store 10 cities or 5 cities. What's the basic technique? I can go ahead, because in a single variable, I can't store two values like that. I can only store one value. So what I can do is I can create one more variable, but to that variable, I have to give a different name because we can't have two variables with the same name, right? So I have to create this. Let's say we call it as Pune, like this. Then let's say let city 2. So guys, the problem here is, if I want to store multiple cities, I have to create multiple variables. Now it's not a problematic thing. It's fine. I can definitely create multiple variables. For example, let's say here I put something like Hyderabad. So I can create multiple variables. But the problem is, if I have multiple variables, whenever I want to use those 5 cities, whatever I do, I have to do it 5 times. If I want to print it, I have to print 5 times. If I want to give that data to someone, to some function, to some logic, I have to again do that 5 times. Whatever I try to do with those 5 data, I have to do it 5 times. Why? Because those are 5 different variables with 5 different names. Is that clear to everyone? Guys, I hope you're understanding the problem. So what I had is I wanted to store multiple cities. And for that, see guys, first of all, understand the problem. Don't worry guys, don't worry about that contiguous memory and all that stuff. First, understand array at its basic. Then we'll also talk about that. First, understand how to use it, what exactly it is. And then we can go and understand how it works in memory and all that stuff. Okay, don't worry. First is to understand what exactly array is. So guys, you understood the problem, right? Because I don't want to teach you array directly. I want you guys to understand the problem first. The problem is this. Okay. So if I want to store multiple cities and they're all cities and I have to store it in multiple variables, and when I store it in multiple variables, they are tough to maintain. They are tough to use because whatever I do, I have to do it that many times. So if it is 5, it's okay. But what if it is 10? What if it is 100 cities? Am I going to create 100 variables? That will make my code look worst. That is what I want to avoid. And guys, for this kind of thing where you have multiple data of similar type. When I say similar type, guys, that means all of them are city and according to programming, all of them are string. So for that case, guys, what you can do, in JavaScript, you can create an array. And not only in JavaScript, guys, in any language, you can create an array. आप वहाँ पे array बना सकते हो. So how to create an array in JavaScript? Very simple. Give it some name. Let's say I call it as cities. Something like this. And now use square brackets. And inside the square brackets, guys, you will have an ability that you can simply go ahead and pass multiple cities like this. Comma, the next city, which can be Pune. Comma, the next city, which can be Hyderabad. Now see, guys, practically, we are following the definition. Definition says collection of elements of same type. So that means all of them are strings. But guys, it's also important to understand that all of them are also cities. So according to real world also, it's a collection of elements of same thing. They are all cities. And according to programming also, it's a collection of elements of same type, which is string. So guys, you should always try to follow this. And guys, remember, it's a square bracket. Don't put curly bracket. It should be a square brackets. Arrays are always denoted by square brackets. So now guys, the best part is you have stored 3 cities in a single variable. And that's all possible because of array. That means now, if I want to share these 3 cities to someone, I don't have to worry. I will just share that single variable to that. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. I hope you're understanding. But now there's one more problem. If I had different variables, it was very easier for me to, use them at any point of time. I can easily modify them. Now it might be a question, then how am I going to modify this? Because all of them are stored in a single variable. So how can I modify one of them? Or how can I use one of them? If it was multiple variables, it was easy for me, but now it's becoming tough. So don't worry guys, it is still easy. Easy in the case, if you want to access any one element, you have to understand that when array stores data, okay, just like when we, put multiple things in one line. So like first pen, second pen, third pen, fourth pen. So we say, right, this is the first pen, this is the second pen. Like in this case, first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. So if I tell you, choose one. So you'll give me a number, choose your third finger. So I'll choose this one. Choose your first finger, I'll choose this one. So we allot a numbering. If I have same kind of data mentioned in one line, then we allot a numbering, first finger, second finger, so that we can easily access or identify it. Just like that, guys, in arrays also, all your values get a numbering. But the only difference is the numbering starts from 0. And that numbering is what you call as index. So Mumbai, according to real logic, it is first city. But according to array logic, that is 0th city. So numbering starts from 0. The index starts from 0. So this is on 0th index, 0th number. This is on first number, and this is on second number, and so on. Third number, fourth number, fifth number. So now if you want to access them, you have to access them using their number. So I know that Mumbai is on 0th number, 0th index. So to access it, Write your variable name, cities, then square bracket. And inside the square bracket, you can mention the number. So I want to access Mumbai. Mumbai is on 0. So I can simply mention 0. Cities of 0. This is said like this, guys. Cities of 0. That means give me cities 0th index value, which is Mumbai. So this will give me Mumbai. And now if I just test it, here we go. See, Mumbai. If I want this Pune one, I'll simply go and write 1. Why not? See? And now I can access it like this only. I can simply go here. I can also access the second one. That means I can also use them as single variable. I can still use them as a single variable. See, Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad. So I created only one variable, but I can use them like a separate variables. That's the best part. But now there's one more question. And the question is, but I'm still writing 3 times. Right, everyone? But I'm still writing 3 times. And that was what I was doing in normal variables also. I was writing it 3 times. So what's the benefit of using array? Is it only I'm able to store multiple data at once? No, guys. There is much more benefit. See this now. If you see these lines of code, they are exactly same. The code is exactly changing. And if you see it very carefully, it's only incrementing by 1. So guys, have we learned something where we can execute the same type of code again and again? Have we learned something, guys, where we can execute the same type of code again and again? And it also provides us with a facility where we can increment a number. Because it's same, right? The same kind of code we're executing again and again, and a number is incrementing. So yes, we have learned loops. So guys, what we can do is, instead of writing it 3 times, I can go ahead and I can say for. Now see, my numbering is starting from 0. That means I will go ahead and let's say I write let a equal 0. Okay, a should start from 0. A is just a variable. And I'm ending at 2. So a should be less than equal to 2. And then I want to go from 0 till 2. So I know from 0 till 2, it is definitely incrementing, not decrementing, right? So increment by 1 every time. And now guys, inside this, I can go ahead and write console.log cities of, if I put 0 here, so it will always print cities of 0. That means it will always print Mumbai. If I run it, you will see, it will always print Mumbai. See that? Mumbai 3 times. Because this loop is running from 0 till 2, that is 3 times. And it's always printing cities of 0. But I don't want to print 0 only. So I can, instead of writing 0, I can write a here. Because a is initially 0. Come inside, console.log cities of a. A is 0. So cities of 0, which is Mumbai. And then a plus plus, a becomes 1. Is 1 less than 2? Yes. Come inside, cities of a, which is now a is 1. So cities of 1, which is Pune. Then cities of 2, which is Hyderabad. And just like that, guys, here we go. Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad. Now see, I write the code only once, but it executes multiple times. So now I can see, right, it's much more better than creating multiple variables. But guys, see, if you have a different kind of data, then definitely you have to go for multiple variables. But if you're planning to store similar kind of data, you should always go for arrays. That's why arrays are used for. Is that cleared? But if you want, you can print the whole array. So if I just print cities, it will print the whole array for me. You can see that, right? And guys, in console, you can see that all those things. See, it's telling me cities is an array. On 0th index, you have Mumbai. On 1st index, you have Pune. On 2nd index, you have Hyderabad. And the length of the array. Now guys, length means how many elements do you have in the array. So the length of the array is 3. That means the number of elements you have in the array is 3. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? I hope you're understanding, everyone. Please, can I get a confirmation, everyone? And second thing, guys, here we go. This is the output. Okay. And guys, what I was saying, that you can put anything in the array. Not only this, I can like put numbers like 34, 56, 78, like this. Why not? Now I'll see. See, now it's printing 34, 56. That's the elements now. So up to you. Whatever you want, up to you. You can store strings, you can store numbers, you can store float numbers, you can store whatever you want, guys. Whatever you want. Okay. But now, guys, there is one issue, that is if I add more data in it. So I also have to worry about changing the last index. Because see, now if I check it, it's only printing till 78. But I know in my array, I have 56 and 78 as well. it's only printing the first 3 elements and not the other 2 elements. Why? Because you're only going till 2, but your index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, everyone? So I can either change it to 4, or to avoid continuously changing it, I can use array, my array dot, it has a method or a property called as length. So cities.length. Length is, guys, how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guys, remember, length is always the number of elements in the array. Don't consider indexes for length. Length is always the number of elements you have in the array. So I have 5 elements, so length is 5. That means now it is going till 5. But I know that if there are 5 elements, my last index is going to be 4. Why, guys? Because the index starts from 0. See, the length of the array is 5, but the index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why, guys, don't go less than equal to length, because if you go till length, you're going till 5 and there is no index 5. Last index is 4. So go less than. A should be less than cities.length. Okay. And just like that. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, so don't forget that. Okay, everyone? So you can do that. Guys, I hope it's all understandable. And guys, what I'm trying to say is you can put whatever you want in this array. Just try, make sure that it's of similar types. Again, guys, it is allowed to put different type of data. You can put string, number, all that stuff, but I would never suggest that. So put strings, put numbers, put whatever you want. Completely up to you guys. Okay, guys, I really hope it's clear. Don't worry, guys, tomorrow's session is going to be our project start session. So I want everyone to be there. So please let me know, guys, if you guys will be there or not. Now, guys, with that, let's go ahead. But let's talk about the last topic for today, which is going to be objects. One of the most important topics in JavaScript, guys. Okay, so now, guys, first of all, again, let's go with the definition. So what exactly is an object in JavaScript? So, guys, in JavaScript, object is nothing but collection of properties which represents a single entity or a single data. Collection of properties which represents a single data. Now, guys, please, everyone, focus for the next 10 minutes. You'll understand objects like never before. See, definition is collection of properties or data which is representing a single entity. Single entity means single object, anything, camera, laptop, me, phone, anything, single object. Okay. Yes, in object-oriented programming, that's the correct definition. But in JavaScript, you can create objects without a class. So that's why. So the best definition, guys, again, primary definition of object is, in reality, object is a collection of properties which is representing a single entity. And class is a blueprint of an object. And then in programming, when you create objects using a class, then it becomes an instance. But in reality, the main definition is object is a collection of properties in any language. Even in Java, it is an instance of a class, should be your second line. The first line should be is object is a collection of properties representing a single entity or single something. Is that clear? Okay. Now then, guys, and guys, again, guys, don't mind my spellings, please. Okay. So let's move ahead, everyone. Now, first of all, what is the need? Again, guys, as I always tell you, I'm not going to directly go to the topic. First, I'll explain you problems and then I'll explain you the solution so that you understand when to use things properly. If I directly create objects, you will maybe not understand when to use it. That's why I'll first tell you the problem and then you'll see where exactly to use objects. So you'll get that power. You'll know when to use objects. So again, let's say, guys, let's say in my program, I want to maintain student data. Let's say in my program, I want to maintain student data. So what I can do is, let's say I want to maintain student's name, student's age, and student's city. Okay. So I do this. Normally, I will create variable. Let name equals, let's say, Saurabh. Okay. Something like this. My name, Saurabh. And let's say my age, let age equals 27. And let's say, city. So I'll put my city here. Let's say Mumbai, something like that. So this is one student data, right, everyone? This is one student data. One student data is stored in 3 variables, and that's fine, guys. We can't create an array for this. Guys, think. We can't create an array for this. Why? Because these are 3 different data. This is not data of same type. one is name, one is age, one is city. So it's fine. This will always go in 3 different variables because this is 3 different data. So think guys, think. This is 3 different data, so it will go in 3 different variables. Fine, all good. Now let's say I want to maintain one more student. So now guys, that's the problem. Now I have to again go and again create one more variable. And now I have to do this, name to, let's say I put your name, let's say Sravani. Okay. And then let age to, let's say I put as, I don't know the age, so I'll just put 21. I'm really sorry if I guessed it incorrect, Sravani. And let age to, and let's say city to, because I can't give same names to the variable guys. I'm giving some odd names like name to, age to, city to. Okay. And let's say something like Hyderabad. Okay. So guys, see the problem now. That means now n number of objects I create, n number of data I create. Let's say I create 10 students. So I have to give all the 30 variables different names. And I'll be having around 30 variables, which will be very tough to maintain. So guys, see, it's fine. I can create, see, now here I have 3 variables, which is giving data to me for one single student, name, age, city. If I want to handle 10 students, I will need 30 variables. And now guys, to handle those 30 variables, it will be very tough, right? Because all of them have different names, and writing all them together, it will be very tough for me to maintain. And guys, that's the problem. And that is the problem that object concept solves. First of all, the problem is naming convention. I'm giving different names to all the variables. Second problem is data is scattered. They are not connected. Even though they are representing a single student, they are not connected. So data is scattered and they have different names. So the naming convention is wrong, and that's the problem. And this is the problem that objects solve. So guys, let's see how to create an object. Okay, everyone. So in JavaScript, guys, to create an object, you simply go ahead, give a name to the object like student1, whatever you want to give. And then you can use this curly braces, which is called as an object literal. Okay. And now inside this, you can create your properties. Now guys, properties are nothing but variables, but when a variable is created inside the object, it becomes a property. Okay. So name. And now here you don't use equal to. Inside the object, you have to use colon. And then here you have to pass whatever data you want. So guys, student1 is the object. And one of the property of student1 is name. Okay. And value is Saurabh. So this is called as key. This is called as value, or you can call it property and value. And just like that, comma, age 27, city Mumbai. And see, now guys, the best part is I still have 3 variables. But the best part is they are enclosed inside the object. That means they will always be together. If I share this object to someone, these 3 data will always go with it. They will always be together. They are enclosed in a single object, guys. That means now they are connected. And now by reading only, I can understand it is representing a single student. They are connected, guys. They are still 3 different data, but they are connected. Now, the best part is if I want one more object, I will create let student2. And then I can go ahead. And guys, because these are different objects, I can use the same property name again. So let's say again, Sravani, age 21. And let's say city, Hyderabad. Now see guys, we solved that problem. Here also I have name, age, city. Here also I have name, age, city. So the naming convention problem is gone, right? I don't have to call it name 1, name 2, name 3, age 1, age 2, age 3. All that stuff is gone. And the best part is my data is enclosed in a single object. Even though I have to give different names to the object, but the best part is my main data is enclosed in a single object. And that is representing a single entity. And the best part is now if I want to share Saurabh's data to someone, I don't have to share it one by one. I can simply share it this variable and the whole object will go. Initially guys, I had 3 different variables. So if I want to share Saurabh's data to someone, I have to share 3 different variables. But now, no issues. I will share this variable, this whole value, which is the object, will go with it. So now guys, that's what object is. But now, if it was separate variables, it was very easier for me to access this name or this name to, or this age to. Now that they are inside objects, how am I going to access these name, age, city? Very easy guys. If I want to access Saurabh's name, first of all, what you need is the object. So student1, then you will use dot, student1 dot, and you can see guys, now I have the access to all the properties, age, city and name. So I'll just go ahead and use name. And that's all. So student1.name, and you'll see here we go, Saurabh. If I want Saurabh's age, I'll just do student1. So object name dot property name. So student1 dot age, like that, and see 27. If I want Shravani's age, Shravani's object name is student2. So I'll go ahead and I'll just use, console.log student2 dot city. Let's say Shravani city. So here we go. So guys, object name dot property name. That's all. And you'll see Hyderabad. So 27 is my age and Hyderabad is Shravani's city. Second object city. Is that clear to everyone, guys? Are we understanding what an object is? And you can have n number of properties, guys, depending on how you want to represent that data. So guys, object is nothing but a representation of some entity, some single entity. I can also do it with normal variables, but that will be very tough to maintain because there will be different variables. And if I have multiple objects, then it will be very, very tough because I have to create n number of variables, and that can be solved using the concept of objects. So I really, really hope that everything that we have learned today is cleared. Now guys, tomorrow when you come back, we'll be directly starting with functions. Then we'll move on to event handling. Then we'll move on to array of objects. And then we will move on to DOM manipulation. So guys, tomorrow's session is going to be very, very important. I think according to me, the most important session in this whole JS. Actually, everything was important, but tomorrow's session is going to be the most important one. So guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much. I really hope that you're enjoying the whole JS so far. If yes, please don't forget to drop a like. Please like. And if you're new, guys, please don't forget to subscribe the channel. So yep, guys, that's it, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for today. I'll see you tomorrow exactly sharp at 6:30. Bye-bye, everyone. Good night. Good night, guys. Bye-bye.